We're back for part 2. If you missed part 1, just go back to the page and watch the first video, the one I was posted before this, if you're watching the replay. Right now I'm just making wigs and answering questions. I refuse to do that. I'm afraid of putting my ID on there. It's crazy. I think there are pros and cons to paying for the blue check. The only thing that Meta is guaranteeing that you're gonna receive from a blue check is you're just gonna get customer service. So basically, if your account gets hacked or if you get locked out of your account, instead of going through their computerized system, you're gonna be able to actually speak to an actual representative. If anybody is pretending to be you, then because you paid for the check, it'll be easier to get rid of the person that's pretending to be you. And it's another benefit from having a check. And there's something else. You're really paying for the customer service aspect of it. Long story short, they not gonna help you for free. Like, they got millions of users. I can only imagine about 10 to 20,000 people forget their passwords every day. Can you imagine them calling into a customer service line? Facebook, they not gonna help you. So I feel like they came out with this option for people to buy blue checks. So, okay, you pay your $15 a month and we're going to help you if you have those issues. So that's really the only thing that's guaranteed. And they have to be able to identify you and verify you. And I believe you have to use your real name as well. I think a lot of people are getting the blue checks because of the perceived value of it, which the perceived value is beneficial. But it depends on how your audience perceives the blue check. So if your audience, your target audience, if they typically look up to people of status, they feel people with blue checks are more official. They're more willing to listen to people who have a blue check versus regular everyday people. If that is your audience, then yes, get the blue check because it's going to benefit you. But anything outside of that, and there's a lot of people, they feel like they're gonna get more views, more likes, and they feel like that's gonna be guaranteed. The algorithm is gonna be more, it's gonna work more for you than against you if you pay for it. It has not been proven that that is the case. You really won't know until you get the blue check. But you know, it's pros and cons to it. It really is. As of now, I'm not really convinced. Personally, I'm not convinced. I don't really have nobody impersonate me, and I go live too much for somebody to try to pretend to be me, you know? Like, I go live too much. I don't really need customer support. I don't really get hacked or locked out of my account. So for me right now at this moment in time, I don't think it's something that I would pay for. Taking your course now. Thank you. I appreciate that. I miss you on YouTube. I gave up Netflix and started watching your vlogs. And they have been keeping me motivated. You and Mercedes, love y'all vlogs. I love Mercedes too. I love Mercedes. Mercedes is so real, so down to earth, so relatable. Oh, so the blue check is for regular people too. I thought it was only for people with a large following. So yeah, previously in order to get a blue check, you had to have a large following, and you had to be, your name had to be published in like a major publication. So like Forbes or like major news outlets, stuff like that. So usually it was for people of status who have multiple publications out there of their name. Some people were able to pay for it, quote unquote. That's what people say. People were able to pay $20,000, $10,000 for a blue check. I cannot say whether that's true or false, but it's out there. But now it is available to select People, they have not rolled it out to everybody, but some people do have the option to where you can subscribe to receive the blue check for $14.99 a month. They made like 600 million the first day it was released. Facebook and Instagram, I think they made over $600 million by selling the blue checks. And these are some good questions people are asking. Do you think they'll truly get rid of TikTok? No, I hope not, y'all. I love TikTok. At first I thought TikTok was like a dancing app for kids. No, TikTok is amazing. I don't know if y'all know it, I have a whole garden on my balcony, and TikTok taught me how to garden. They taught me how to garden, and I enjoy gardening so much. TikTok keeps me up to date with all news and stuff that's going on. Like yesterday, oh, be careful with your fingers. Oh no, the way the sewing machines are built is almost impossible to stitch your finger down. It's how they're built. All right, so bring it to the sewing machine. Bam. In order for the needle to get my finger, I would literally have to put my finger where the needle is, which is this little small space right here. I would have to put my finger up under there, and it's already hard enough to put your finger up under there. So the needle, I'm trying to show you, the needle is only gonna stitch within this small little room. So for the most part, my hand is like over here, or like in the front. But you would have to physically just put your finger here. You would have to put your finger there for the sewing machine needle to really hit you. I've been sewing with a sewing machine for a very long time. Have not had any issues with getting my finger messed up with the needle, like at all. I've had a sewing machine since I was in elementary school. I'm about to be 30 next month, so it's been a long time. It's never happened. You would have to physically put your finger up under it. I know a lot of people, that is a concern of theirs, so I'm just saying this to just ease anybody who has that concern. Like, what if my finger get caught up or something like that? I'm here to just let y'all know y'all gonna be okay. Y'all gonna be okay, trust me. Now, I have had them darn on T-pins. These T-pins, a different story. These T-pins, a different story. Hate them darn on T-pins. And I've had my needle break. But the way the machines are now, when your needle breaks, it stays here. Like, it's gonna stay on the thread, connected to the thread. It's not gonna really like fly everywhere. So even if your needle breaks, you're still pretty safe, from my experience. But back to TikTok. I love TikTok. TikTok keeps me up to date with the news because I don't watch the news. TikTok is funny, it's entertaining, it lifts my spirit every time. TikTok keep me woke with my conspiracy theories. I love all of that stuff. TikTok teaches me so much. That's what I want to say. I absolutely love it. It teaches me so much. I'm on there every day. I'm learning something new from so many different people. TikTok gives people voices, and I really hope they don't ban it. I don't think they're going to ban TikTok. I think they just want to gain control over it. That's what it is. Like, if you want to have TikTok in the United States, then we need to oversee it. So I think they just want to have more control over it. They want to be able to fact check everything. You know, like kind of like how they do Facebook and Instagram. Like, they'll fact check something and be like, oh, this is false news. And you know. I had a question regarding Squarespace. If my business is based in Canada and customers purchase from me in the United States with the amount in USD with the amount paid in that currency, I'm not sure. I feel like on your website you can I feel like on Squarespace they have an option where you can change the currency type that you receive. So you might have to go in the settings somewhere, maybe under commerce, maybe. I haven't been on Squarespace in about 2-3 years, so my memory isn't clear, but I feel like there's a setting where you put in your payments, how you receive payments, and then there's an option of how you can accept the currency. So with my website, I've only accepted USD. I've only accepted USD. So whenever I had international customers, they just had to have a way to pay USD. I didn't really do like any conversions or anything. Hey Ebony, I'm camera shy and I love making wigs. What's your advice? With social media, we have to kind of follow the trends of social media. And you want to keep up with the trends of social media. And as you can see, a majority of social media sites are really moving towards video content. Video content, particularly that requires you to show your face, to show yourself, to show you. That is what we're moving towards. So in order to keep up in the social media world, my advice is going to be to work on that fear. Work on overcoming that fear if you really want to grow your social media platforms. It's just how social media is moving. The only other option is there are accounts or pages where people do voiceovers. They might not show their face. It might look something like this, where let's say a person is making a wig, so you never see their face but you still see them working. Then they might be telling you a story as they work, or they might give you a tip as they working, so you never see their face but you're still seeing a portion of them. You're a real person. They can see your hands, they can see you working, and they can hear your voice. So maybe start with content like this where people can see what you're doing and do a voiceover, or just speak as you're recording. Start there until maybe you build up more confidence to go live. But really being camera shy, that's rooted in having a fear, and you have to understand, you have to get to the root cause of that fear. Long story short, you gotta, to get over fear, you have to identify the root cause of it. So it's so many different root causes when it comes to fear. For me, fear, I thought I had overcome fear, but I still have fear. Fear shows up in so many different ways you wouldn't know it. I had to do a lot of shadow work from a spiritual perspective. Shadow work is just when you get to the root cause of your fear, or the root cause of why you are who you are. So you kind of just go back and figure out where your trauma has stemmed from in the past. You acknowledge it, you accept it, and then you work towards overcoming it. So for instance, okay, this is not really social media related, but I would never sing in front of people. I don't know, you can call it a fear. But like, my favorite song could come on and I could truly in my heart just want to sing my favorite song out loud, but I would not do it. I would just sit there in silence as my favorite song on, just really wish I could sing it, but I just couldn't sing it. Like, I'm just not going to do it. That's a fear. So in order for me to get over that fear, this is something I worked on recently over the past couple months. I've been singing happily aloud. But in order for me to get over that, I had to think about, okay, why do I feel this way? Like, what happened to me to where I don't feel comfortable singing out loud? And I remember, I love my mom, so I don't want y'all to think I'm bashing my mom. But when I was a child, I used to love singing. And I had it set in my head that I'm gonna be the next singer. Like, I'm gonna be the next Beyonce, I'm gonna be the next singer. Like, that's what I had in my head. So I remember I went in front of my mom and I sung a song, and my mom, like, killed my spirits. Like, basically, when you grow up, don't do that. And when I look at it now, she was being serious, but she did it in a jokingly way. Like, it was meant to be a joke, but she was being serious, if that makes sense. Like, oh, we laughing about it. Like, girl, don't do that when you grow up. Like, she was trying to be honest with me about my singing, and she tried her best to make it funny so it didn't really hurt me as much, but it killed my spirits, and I never sung in front of another person again. So I had to go back and realize where it was rooted from, see it from a different perspective. I'm older now, but now that I'm older, I can put myself in her shoes. I can see why she did what she did. She got to keep, as a parent, you got to keep real with your kids. She could have been a little bit more gentle in her approach, but I get it now. I can forgive her from that happening, and I can move forward. And I have the power now to be like, you know what, I'm not gonna let that one experience stop me from doing something I like to do. I like singing. I might not be the best singer, but I'ma sing, okay? And I don't care who hear me. So it's the same thing about showing up in camera. Showing up on camera, going live, being active, being shy. There's a reason why you are shy. It could be like people made fun of you before. It could be oh, that's another reason why I wasn't singing, because I auditioned for a talent show in the 7th grade and this one girl clowned me. But see, that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story for a different day. But a lot of our behaviors are rooted in something. Like, we were born fearless. We were born, I say it all the time, babies, they have no fear. They on the bed, they gonna roll off the bed. Like, have no fear. When we are toddlers, we jumping off the couch, the sofa, the table, we climbing up stuff, cabinets, everything. We're adventurous. We are naturally born without fear, but society conditions us to have fear. Whether it's our parents, whether it's our friends, whether it's people in our environment, they condition us to where we are fearful, to where we second guess ourselves. So you really just have to go back and unlearn that. And it is a process. It is a journey. It's not something that today you realize you have the fear and tomorrow is tackled. It could take weeks, months, maybe years, depending on how deep the trauma goes. But you just really want to get to the root cause of what's making you feel that way, or why you feel that way. Forgive yourself for the experience, forgive other people for that experience, and then allow that experience to no longer have power over you today. Allow it to no longer get in the way of your success, in the success that is rightfully yours, the abundance that is rightfully yours. It's not fair. It's not fair to your happiness, your goals, your wishes, your dreams. It's not fair. And we have the choice to no longer give those situations power. You're right. When I started, I never wanted to be the face of my brand. I got over the fear and became, yes. And once you get over the fear, once you work through it, it's just gonna be second nature. Second nature. You're gonna be so comfortable with doing it. The first couple days that you do something that you've always been scared to do, you're gonna be shaking in your boots. But know that that's normal, and know that all of us have that same experience. That's a shared experience. You're gonna be nervous. You're gonna be anxious. You're gonna forget what you want to say. You're gonna forget your words. You're gonna make mistakes. You might sound crazy, but it's all a part of the process, and we all experience it. And people want to support you, and they want to see you win. I'm rooting for you. Okay, I can't speak for other people, but I'm rooting for you. I want you to win. And it's all gonna go well. It's all gonna go well. Hey Eb, is that Portia? Hey Portia, do we need a business license and seller's permit here in Florida? So those are the two things that you need to do if you have a business in Florida. You register your business through sunbiz.org, and then with the tax portion of it, you have to go through the Department of Revenue. So Florida Department of Revenue website. And you can apply for it. Do you think we should separate our hairstyles page from a wig page? No. Yes. No and yes. Let me tell you, it depends. So in my case, I have kept all of my pages separate. I have this page, my personal page, but I usually use this page to promote like business courses and classes in my YouTube. So I have this page. I have the Everything Ebony collection page that was supposed to be for bundles, and then I had Wigs by Ebony that was supposed to be for wigs. Now in some cases you do want to have separate pages, but the part that I missed, which is major, is that I built a brand around me. Because the brand is built around me, then everything I can do can go on one page. I shouldn't need separate accounts. Because the brand is based around me and what I do. That's what I was doing. So for the entire time, I never needed all those different pages because the brand was about me. But now I don't want the, it's kind of difficult. I don't necessarily want, it's hard for me to answer because I'm constantly going back and forth with it. I don't necessarily want my wig. Right now the only brand I have is my wig brand, and I sell hair extensions under my wig brand, but I plan on eliminating the hair extensions for now and only focusing on wigs. So right now my only brand is my wig brand. I don't want it to be connected to me because with being a business owner, people feel entitled to you as an owner, and at times I prefer my privacy and my space, and I crave that separation from personal and business. So because of that, my wig page has its own page. I don't know if I'm making sense. And I wanted the wig company to be separate from me, but it ain't gonna be separate from me because it's named after me. It's confusing. It's confusing because it's Wigs by Ebony. So I'm always gonna be connected to it because of the name. So technically I don't need a separate page for the wigs because it is still connected to me. So let me bring this back to you. Let me go back to your question, because I'm doing too much about me. And do you think we should separate our hairstyles page from a wig page? It's hard to answer. I want to say it's based off of what you want to brand. Do you want to be known as a hairstylist, or do you want to be known as a wig maker? Or do you want to be known as a hairstylist that also owns a wig brand? It's too many variables. So if you want to be known as a hairstylist, your ultimate goal is to be like a celebrity hairstylist, or your ultimate goal is to just be a hairstylist, all things hair. You want to be known for your craft and how well you do your craft, and you're always going to offer different hairstyles and techniques. It's really about your skill. Your ultimate goal is to show off your skills and your talent as it relates to hair, and you really just want to brand yourself as this hairstylist who is gifted and talented in the hair industry, then you don't need to separate the hairstyles from the wig page. All of that can be under one page because a hairstylist can do all of those things. The main goal is getting people to know how talented and how skilled you are. So you would not need a separate page. Now, if you want to stop being a hairstylist and fully transition over to just being a wig maker full time, then you right now you would try to transition out of being a hairstylist to where you're only going to focus on having a wig page, and your wig page is going to be the only page that you have. It doesn't mean that you still wouldn't be able to take like regular hairstyle bookings on the side. Like, you know, if you ever have some free availability and then you pop up and be like, hey guys, I'm gonna be available the last week in April. If y'all want to book some hairstyles with me, book hairstyles with me, and you just do that on your wig page. But if the main focus is going to be wigs, then you only need your wig page. You really don't even need the hairstyles page. But if you want to do both, you want to be a hairstylist, but you want your wig page to be its own thing, kind of separate from you, and to have its own identity and to be able to grow and flourish without having any connection to you being a hairstylist and your hairstyles, then they can be separate. I guess the answer is dependent on your goals at the end of the day. It's all about your goals. I didn't separate mine mainly because of my target clientele and wig customers are almost right. If it's the same, if the customer base is the same, you really don't need to create separate pages. All right, so the first part, I was talking about building up the connection. People got to feel connected to you. It's easier to build those connections when it's you, because you're an actual person, versus giving the brand characteristics of a human. It's easier if an actual human is building the connections. You get what I'm saying? So it's easier, but at the same time, the cons of being the face of your brand is the entitlement. People feel like if you have a customer that's unhappy, they feel like they can come to your personal pages and leave comments and send you messages, and they see you out and about with your family. They feel like, oh, you were out and about with your family, you should have been working. Or, you know, like people have this entitlement to your personal life, and they feel like they can dictate what you can and can't do, how you can and can't act because you're a business owner, how you can and cannot show up. People start to put you on a pedestal that you never asked to be put on, and now everything that you do and say is being critiqued and criticized because you're a business owner. You know, I don't like that aspect of it. So that is why I crave to have that separation from personal and business, but at the same time, I can't ignore the huge benefit of being the face of your company. It's easier when you are the face. And it's cheaper too, because you ain't got to pay influencers and models, and you know, it's cheaper too. We'll be coming out with some new physical workbooks for hair owners. I was in the process of creating more workbooks and stuff for like wig makers and hair business owners, but I had to stop it. I kind of put a lot of stuff on pause. This is my first live in like a month or two. I haven't posted any content. Even on my business pages, I haven't been active. I had to take a step back. I'm only one person. I'm doing too much, and I put a stop on a lot of stuff. I had to go back and really work on a lot of foundational stuff too. Really go back to the core values that I want to have set in place for all of my companies, how I do show up, being more organized, put myself on a schedule, kind of like going back to dot my I's and cross my T's and dot my I's. So yeah, all of that is kind of on pause right now. My main focus is being a wig maker and only pushing out wig making content everything wigs, whether it's helping other people start wig businesses or just continuing to grow my wig business. That's my main focus right now. So I had to put a pause on everything, and once I feel like everything wig related can run without me, then I will give time and attention to everything else. But yeah, I had put everything on pause. Even YouTube, I ain't upload. How do you get a wig customization business going? When it comes to customizing wigs to start a business, I do still have a free training on how to start a custom wig business with low funds and a lack of customers. So that is a free training that y'all can join at any time through the link in my bio, or if you're on YouTube, you can join that anytime by clicking on the link in the description box. But wig customization, first of all, it's a skill. So if you want to get into a business, then you have to build up the skill for it. If your skills aren't there yet, when it comes to plucking, when it comes to bleaching knots, when it comes to styling, then you want to start there. You want to start maybe taking classes. You can start with YouTube videos. You can start. It's a lot of YouTube tutorials. You know, pull and take from different content creators that give out information for free. That's a nice place to start. But then eventually you might realize you do need to take classes from stylists, whether it's online or in person, that can help you become more skilled, right? Once you are skilled in customization, then you need to start showing your work. People need to be able to see. It is a beauty industry, so people in the beauty industry, is all about what they can see with their eyes. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so you got to be able to create content to show your work so that you can promote it, so that people can see. I'm gonna do the same as everything I just did. Because I accidentally drew a line where it wasn't supposed to be. So then people will need to see, like, you need to put your skills on display. You know, it could be going live showing people you making the wigs, or it could be a real video that you created to show people your wig making skills. It could be photos, but you're gonna have to be able to show people what you can do, and then let the world know there is something that you offer. You offer wig customization services. And there's a lot of different services that you can offer as a wig maker. It just all depends on what you want to offer. Hey girl, hey. Do wigs perform better than bundles overall in sales? No, I can't really say they do. I can't say they do or they don't. And I can't really say with my business, because anything I give focus to is going to sell the most. So if today I stopped posting content about wigs and I only started posting content about bundles, then my bundles are going to sell more than my wigs. So for me in particular, whatever I give attention to, that's what's going to sell the most. Like with wigs, I have the most sales with my deep wave hair and my kinky curly hair with wigs. Why? Because usually those are the wigs that I wear. 9 out of 10 chances, if you see me with a wig on, it's gonna be curly or deep wave, and those are the ones that sell the most. So for me, what sells the most is what I am promoting the most. As an industry, the industry as a whole is just so large. It's a $1 billion industry, so I can't really pinpoint where all of the money, like which side of the coin is making the most money. But it's a lot of money in it, regardless of if you only selling bundles or if you only selling wigs or if you selling both. I would say the smart thing to do is to put your target audience first. Once you determine who your target audience is, figure out if they're the type of woman or male, because both people wear wigs and hair extensions. But it's to figure out Does your particular target audience, do they wear wigs more, or do they wear sew-ins more, or do they wear tape-ins more, or do they wear clip-ins more? You have to do research on your target audience to figure out what it is that they do more, and then based on that, you offer it. The second factor would be your personal preference, because you are the business owner at the end of the day, and I do feel you should do something that you actually enjoy. But your target audience, they should be the top priority for consideration over your own personal needs when you start a business. Do you think machine wigs should be more than hand sewn? No. I feel like they all can be priced the exact same. Machine made wig can be priced the same as a hand sewn wig. That could be priced the same as a factory wig. They all could be priced the exact same. To be honest, because a hand sewn wig is more labor, a hand sewn wig should cost more. It's like if you were to buy a luxury purse. Usually luxury purses cost more because somebody's hand stitching something, or it's hand quilted fabric, or like something is being done by hand. And that's why a lot of luxury or designer bags cost way more than a bag that can just easily be produced in a factory. So I do feel like hand sewn, if you think about it, it should be way more. But then hand sewn doesn't last as long as machine made wigs. So then it's like, I think it's just it's a lot of confusion because of these things. Because if it's made with a machine, it's going to last longer. The stitches are going to last longer than a hand stitch. But a hand stitch requires more time and energy put into it. So many different factors. I just feel like when it comes to wigs, people are willing to spend $59 on a wig, which is crazy to me, but people do it. And people are willing to spend $5,000 on a wig. It's all about the value that you're creating. The people are really paying. It's never the wig that people pay for. It's about the value that you create, the connection that you build. It's about everything else. It's never about the wigs. You can sell wigs at any price. I think when it comes to the prices of wigs, it really should be based off quality. Not really how the wig is made, but more so about the quality and the craftsmanship. Is that what I'm gonna say? Craftsmanship. Am I saying that word right? I think it's more about that, the quality. Because the quality is going to determine how well it's made, how well it fits, and the longevity of the hair. Because it's going to last longer, it probably should cost more. So I think it really boils down to quality and not really like how it's made. But then how it's made does play a part in the quality. So a lot of factors. Thank you. You're welcome. How long would it take you to learn machine made wigs? Okay, I can't speak for how long it would take somebody else to learn how to make a wig on a machine. If that's what you're asking me, because I think I'm reading your question wrong. It really depends on how fast you're able to learn and pick up on material. Everybody's different. So if you have no experience with making wigs on a sewing machine, but you do have experience with making wigs, then you're probably gonna learn it faster than someone who has no experience with making wigs at all, on top of not having any experience with the sewing machine. So it depends on the background experience you already have, and then how fast of a learner you are too. How much time you're able to dedicate to learning a skill each day as well. One person might spend 5 hours a day. The next person might only have 5 hours a week. It's really up to the individual. Also, if you just sell 5x5 closure wigs, will people buy it? Absolutely. I only sell closure wigs now. It really was a decision I made based off of my target audience. Believe it or not, I tried to brand my business more towards people who are already experienced wig makers, because I felt like it would be easier. I wouldn't have to waste, I shouldn't say the word waste, but sometimes that's how it feels. I wouldn't have to waste a lot of time having to teach people how to wear wigs. It will be easier for me if I marketed my business to people who already wear wigs, right? No, I still attract almost, I would say 90% of my customers are beginner wig makers. I meant wig wearers. So I had to change my business model. If I am attracting a lot of people who are beginners, then I should really only be offering beginner wigs, and closure wigs are beginner wigs. And then on top of that, when I think about it, I personally like closure wigs because closures last longer than frontals, and then frontals already cost an arm and a leg. Then whenever you add a frontal to a wig, or even if like you had a frontal sew-in or a frontal wig install, the stylist already charging you an arm and a leg just for the install. And then and then it's like, I don't know, for some reason hair don't stay on frontals. Like, it's so easy for a frontal to bald. There's a lot of other wig makers that only sell closure wigs as well. Like for example, Mercedes, because somebody brought up Mercedes earlier. We love Mercedes. She also, I believe she also only do closure wigs for her business. And she has a very successful wig business as well. It's a lot of us that only do closure wigs. I'm glad to see you live again. Hey, Jasmine. Yes, I'm back. Those breaks are necessary. Breaks are necessary. And that's another thing. As I was taking my break, I really wanted to focus on how I want to show up. That's another thing. It'd be so hard trying to figure out how you want to show up on social media, especially when you wear so many hats. Especially when you're multi-talented, you do a lot of different things. Like most of us. Most of us are very talented, and not in one way, in multiple ways. And trying to find that balance between being able to show everything you're talented and gifted at, but also being able to be an individual, but also being able to be a business owner. It's like, how do I show up? And then you also have to keep up with the algorithms and the constant changing that goes on social media. And then how you're being perceived by the public. It's so much. So, and then in the same note, if you feel like you are still growing as a person, you still don't know who you are 100%. It can just be so much. Like, it really is a journey. If y'all take away anything, like, business is a journey. It's always something to learn. It's always something to figure out. You ain't gonna always get it right, but as long as you're always working towards something, always learning something new, you'll get far. Let's see. It's definitely a journey. You ain't lying. I love you, Ebony. Been tuned in to you for a while. I love your positivity. Thank you. Alright guys, so I hope y'all really liked this Q&A session. Like I stated before, be sure to leave your questions that you have down in the comments down below, because I would like to create more dedicated videos to where I'm answering specific questions that you have and really dedicating an entire video to a question that you may have. I also want to let you guys all know about this amazing free training that I do have available for anybody who wants to be a wig maker. It is a free training for those who want to start a custom wig business. Either you have a lack of customers or you have low funds. My free training will help you get started with your business with those two things. So if you're interested, in the description box I will have a link so that you're able to enroll into that free training. Yes, it's 100% free. My goal is to help 1,000 people this year start their custom wig business, and I hope that I can help you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye.